glad you could join me. This one you don't want to miss because something exciting could well happen in the ring between Derek Chisora and Joyce. Derek Chisora has systematically dismantled Joyce and his team, and the end result is not good, at least outside the ring. Joyce has been on interviews or did one particular interview when they were asking about Zile Zhang, and it seems that Joyce doesn't want to even get involved in the conversation, doesn't want to engage, doesn't want to think about what has happened previously in those two fights. Whether he wants to play ignorant, he wants to pretend it didn't happen, it couldn't happen, or he's still struggling to deal with the fact that he got absolutely destroyed by Zile Zhang. I don't know what it is, but there is a problem there, which which Joyce has not addressed, and he hasn't addressed it, and it's a problem, a big problem, because it's actually causing him difficulty moving forward. Let me explain. So now, round the table, Derek talked about how Joyce's team are a bunch of peas. So I've told you at length what I think about Joyce's team, and I repeat it. And let me tell you something now. I'll go even further into it now. So he's laid into Joyce, talks about the Zilla Zhang fight, talks about Chinese foods that he's not going to have. Um, Five Guys, because this is something Derek does at the end of fights. He shares Five Guys with his opponent, whether he wins or loses. He shares, he buys them Five Guys. That's his Jewish ritual, is what he does after a fight. Anyway, for Joyce now, he says, "Nah, you're not getting no fight. You're not getting no Five Guys. You're getting Chinese food." Again, bringing Joe back to Zile Zhang. Yeah, you might not want to see it, you might not want to address it, but I'm letting you know here and now that I acknowledge Zile Zhang. You need to acknowledge Zile Zhang. Little side note, by the way, Zile Zhang did approach Derek Chisora for a fight, and Derek conveniently swayed from that fight. He probably realised if he got beat by a Chinese heavyweight, he wouldn't look good in his favour. Um, so and again, we'll go on to that Chinese heavyweight statement in a minute. So now, okay, Derek's done what he's done there, and then Joe and Derek again meet at O2 on top of the roof, and Derek thinks Joe thinks he can get one up on Derek. Adam already think they can get one up on Derek because he's scared to walk up to the top of the O2 arena roof or whatever it is. And again, Derek, his man just Joyce's man just stands up to Derek or tries to stand up to him and says, "Well, I'm not a pussy, you're a pussy." All right, fine, fair enough. And they're like, "Yeah, right, whatever, mate." And Derek knows he can backhand Adam Morley or front hand him, and he can manhandle him. He's like, "You ain't nobody, so just sit down," you know. So again, another point, a point in case there for Derek with Derek, and again Joyce up the O2, up on the roof. Again, Derek is not. He's basically repeating what he said. Now here's the big blow here. They go to the press conference now, yeah? Final press conference, Derek's sitting there and Joyce is there. And the first thing Derek says is, "Oh, you're talking better now. You've got something to teach you how to talk at a press conference." So that's the first thing. How did that slip out? How did Derek find out about that? So that's first of all embarrassed Joe because he's had to get someone to teach him how to talk at a press conference. That's the first thing. The next blow gets it. Derek goes in and talks about Joyce. He says, anyway, he gets around. He talks again about his team. The presenter asked Derek again about the team and why he think he's called them those names, call them pussies. Okay, so Derek reiterates what he says about Joyce's team. Then look across the table. Derek is there. I think he's managing his own career. Look across at Derek. Look across the table. Where's Adam Morley? Where's he when Dereck Chisora is on the top table? Why is he not on the top table? Is there something Dereck knows and he wants to expose that he doesn't want Dereck to do? And if he's not up at the top table, why is he not there? Where's Joe Joyce's trainer? Another one. Why is Joe Joyce's trainer up at the top table talking about the strategy and how they're going to beat Dereck Chisora? So his trainer's not there. His manager's not there. In fact, his manager's in the crowd. What kind of manager have you got that you are press conference and managers in the crowd, not on the top table? So there's that as well. So Joyce, one of Joyce's, I don't call it superpowers, always the thing that makes him what he is, the juggernaut, is that he's intimidating. Or he's big, he's a big guy, he's intimidating, he can look down at you, he can make you feel in a certain way. Well, that's not working with Dereck Chisora. Dereck again went back on the Zile Sam thing again. He started saying, okay, hey Frank, do you mind if I walk out with Zile Zhang? Maybe we can have Zile Zhang there. And he started talking to Joyce about what happened against Zile Zhang and how embarrassing it was for him to get knocked out by a Chinese heavyweight. One was the last Chinese heavyweight. He said, you're an embarrassment. So again, he's ripping into Joyce's mental state, right? And if you look at Joyce, he looks bewildered. He's angered and frustrated and bewildered. He's like he's got that sort of same look that Dubois has got. Like, wait, what is happening to me? So he isn't dealing with the situation with Zile Zhang. He's not addressing that situation. Yeah, I got beat, fine. Let's move on. It's not one of them ones. He doesn't even want to talk about it. So Dereck keeps bringing it up. And it's visibly disturbing Joyce. You can see on his face. He looks bewildered. He looks frustrated. He seems lost. He looked like a little boy up there, right? And Dereck's continued to boy him off in front of it in a press conference. Continue to boy him off. So what, are you going to get mad with Dereck Chisora? You can't get mad with Dereck Chisora. He's careful he doesn't get up and pick up a chair at you. Dereck said, you're not about this life. Yeah, I'm about this life. I've done pretty well for my career. And then Dereck has to bring him up again about Zile Zhang. So, yeah, you got beat by Joseph Parker. Yeah, okay. I got beat by Joseph Parker. But you got put to sleep by Zile Zhang. And that's the difference. You know? And look what Joe Parker did to Zhang. Easy. So, it is a concern for Joe Joyce. Then, after all that's said there, and Usyk now chips into the mix with saying boom boom. So was it boom boom Chisora or bang bang Chisora, saying that Joyce was going to beat Chisora. But I said Usyk said that Joyce was his easiest fight, and Joyce again at that there he is like you could see all the confidence and all the, it's like a robot malfunctioning before our very eyes. And Joyce is the guy that fights with confidence, intimidation, being a bigger man, all those things. That's Joyce. But Joyce must have felt about 4 foot tall, and Chisora must have felt about 6'8". He just completely buoyed off, completely just made Joyce seem irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. Then he got up and he looked at Joyce. He says, Joyce, look, in a street fight, I'll take you. And in a street fight, I'd come back and headbutt you. He says, you don't intimidate me outside the ring, and you certainly won't intimidate me inside the ring. I've had 48 fights, and you're gonna. I thought the who's almost the who boxing. You know, so who are you? So he's actually pointing off again to his face. Like, who are you? He looked up and down and looked at him. You know about that life, sure. And you know what? In a matter of fact, he talked to him like a boy. As a matter of fact, you know what? You're not getting Five Guys. You're getting chicken chow mein, Chinese for you. No, she's like a parent talking to a child. Nah, you know what? You're not having your toys today. You'll read a book instead. He talked to Joe like a boy. He talked to him like a boy. He talked down to him in more subtler ways. So Dereck is in Joe's head. He's not renting. He's bought property in Joe's head. He's got right in his head. So Joe, And when Joe looks around, his manager, where is he? In the crowd. In the crowd. Me, if it were me personally, and it was my manager, and I was going to a make or break fight in my career, my manager should be on the top table. He should be in the crowd there. That's what I said. Not doing a great job. And he knows, and Joe knows. Where's your trainer to stand beside you? The trainer that you've backed and supported. Where's your trainer? Why have you not flown him in for this last press conference to stand beside you? So Dereck has said some things, and once again, say Dereck keeps repeating, I'll make Joyce's trainer, Joyce's manager, I'll make an example of him. Why is it that his manager just want to come up the top table? Why is it he doesn't want to go toe to toe with Dereck? Why hasn't he got, he was certainly up there for the rematch when Joe was fighting Zile Zhang. He was there when Joe was fighting Zile Zhang in the first fight. So why is he up at the top table? The final press conference. Put it to right. Set the record straight. Why, we are a solid team. The Joe Joyce team is a solid team. Why are you not up top table? I'd be up there top table. Or is there something that would come out that maybe something that the world might want to hear, but Joe's team doesn't want people to hear about? So they're very weary with Dereck Chisora. So they probably want this fight over and done with as quick as possible, to be honest. But I've seen guys get dismantled like this outside the ring, and then when they get inside the ring, it's absolute, because you have to, all the stuff you've got to deal with now, you're dealing with that completely buoyed off, a guy that's not intimidated by you, a guy that's not scared of you, a guy that's reminding you of your defeats, and you look across the room and your team's not there for you, and you the guy you're fighting, the opponent you're fighting, is telling you home truths, and he called your team pussies. And where's your team for you now? You're right there by yourself, mate. Good old amateur days. It's not good. It's not good at all. What are you paying your manager for? What are you paying your manager for? It's not good. It's not good. I don't think it's a good look. I don't think it's professional. I don't think it's cool at all. So now Saturday night's coming. We've still got the weigh-in, and I expect Dereck to pull out some more tricks for the weigh-in. This is interesting. Boxing's not just about two guys getting on and fighting. It's the mental setup. And I think Dereck is smart enough to just wait, because Joe's got slow feet and slow hands. Dereck's got faster hands. Dereck can punch in between Joe's punches, because Joe is slow, and Joe's most effective when he's got you backed against the ropes. When he's in the center ring, that's where he can get nailed with them big right hands over the top, and he'll be there to be hit. And Joe just got no defense to overhand right. He hasn't. Fight after fight after fight after fight, he does not block the overhand right. So he wants to be careful. What Tyson Fury did to avoid that for the second fight is he turned southpaw. I can't remember the third fight again. But yeah, he tried. As Tyson got more experience, obviously the overhand right is less of a problem. But Joyce, and that's because he's worked technique and improved. Joe Joyce has not improved, not one iota. And if he's backing his chin against Dereck Chisora, then that tells me he is not improved from the Zile Zhang fight. He's not made adjustments from the Zile Zhang fight. It's the same old Joe Joyce with the same old style who doesn't want to adapt. He's still talking about him having a good chin. Instead of him saying, you know what, I'm gonna try and block these punches or get away with these punches. No, I've got a good chin. Do I think Dereck's gonna beat Joyce? Based on the run up of what I'm seeing so far, and the way he's talking and the way he's carrying on, right? Joe is going to be a shell of himself when he gets in the ring that night. It depends on how much Dereck's got left. But if Joe comes in the same way he's coming in, the way he's talking and the way he's behaving, like bewildered and like he just does not look the same guy to me. Dereck's got a good chance in this fight. Slow hands, slow feet, and gets kicked with the overhand right. Caught with the overhand right. And that's Dereck's best punch, is the overhand right. So it's just, to me, is whether Joe can absorb those overhand rights What's Joe's chin like now? Is he still taking the big shots like before? Has Zhang cracked that chin and confidence? And if he gets hit with a big right hand over the top, is Joe gonna go flashing back to the Zhilei Zhang fight? Because to me, he has not dealt with the Zhilei Zhang fight. He has not addressed the Zhilei Zhang fight in the way that a proper team and a good team would address the Zhilei Zhang fight. To me, I've seen this over and over again with fighters. They go into rematches and they don't address what got them trouble in the first place. So for me, I think Derek's going to pot shot. I think he's going to pot shot. I think he's going to let Joe come at him and he's going to try and punch in between punches and throw the right hand over the top. He'd say, if this hits, if this lands, I'll take this guy, I'll knock this guy out. Listen, I know Derek can knock guys bigger than Joyce out, right? Bigger than Joe Joyce. I don't say better than Joe Joyce, but bigger than him, right? In size, I'm talking about, in stature, right? And I'm talking about Tyson Fury there. So I'm telling you now, if Joyce comes in there with the nonsense that he does and he lacks confidence and he's slower, he can get hit with a right hand. And Joe will get hit with a right hand. It's just a case of how much Joe has got left or is he regressed to. And Derek's going to fight the same way. So he bombs that right hand over the top. It's just Joe. If Derek wins this fight, it's because Joe's in the middle of the ring, and he's got caught with an overhand right. That's the only way. And the other way, if Derek's clever, he goes to Joe Joyce's body, because Joe does not like body shots. I don't know if you've worked that out. I don't know if you boxing fans seen that. He doesn't like body shots, and Derek's good punching to the body. So yeah, I think where I think Derek's gonna have a problem is when he's pulling back from punches. That's why I think once he sets up to attack, right? Because sometimes Derek Chisora can come and overstep and overstretch, and that's where he can get hit with the uppercut. So the uppercut's one punch Derek needs to be careful of, and the other punch he needs to be careful of is the right hand as Derek backs up. But I think Joyce may even try and throw that bolo punch as well to Derek. So look for the bowler punch. The bowler punch is the punch that's like the overhand right on top of Derek's head and the uppercut. And those are the punches when Derek's on the ropes. Where if Derek's getting stopped, he's getting stopped on the ropes. Like Joyce just pummeling him. But it punches really slow, Joyce. It does punch slow. And I don't think he's the same fighter. Slow feet, slow hands. Derek hasn't fought in a year. So he may not come out even great. Derek may come out terrible because he hasn't fought in a year. But in a year he might be fresh. Fresh, and the guy's had 48 fights, but he may have a bit of fresh and vigor. You know, he said he's going to be emotional. So Joyce has to be careful of Derek for the first 5 rounds. He needs to be careful. You know, because he will get caught with that right hand. And he gets hit with too many right hands, it could be a problem. And already, I don't like Joyce's setup. I don't like the way his whole set is up for his whole fight. I don't like it at all. He does not give me positive vibes. His team don't give me positive vibes. It's like, oh, we'll just get through this one. And yeah, the Zhilei Zhang fight, you can't go into top heavyweight fights with that mentality. I'm sorry, you cannot. And you cannot keep relying on your chin. What happened to your boxing ability? Look, anything's possible in this fight because Derek is the age that he hasn't fought for a year. Do you understand? Derek could just come in and for a couple of rounds, have a go, and then, you know, dislocate a shoulder or twist an ankle or yeah, anything's possible, you know. With click with a punch, you know, and yeah. But the other thing he said was the Cash Ali fight. I mean, Cash Ali's a small guy, and you couldn't even put him away. So Derek, if anything, if Derek's got anything to if he doubted himself, the way he fought Vitaly Klitschko, and Vitaly Klitschko I think hits harder than Joe Joyce. He's a better boxer than Joe Joyce. So, you know, I think Tyson Fury is a better boxer than Joe Joyce. Pure boxer than Joe Joyce. He's got faster hands than Joe Joyce. You know, he's got more variety than Joe Joyce. Joyce comes in straight lines, and his hands are slow, and he's there. And Derek can throw the right hand fast, and Joyce can land on Derek. So I would tell Derek, get close, let your right hand go. Get close and get inside. Don't stay on the outside with Joyce. Get on the inside and have it with him. So when Derek comes, as he says he's going to come, he's going to have it with Joyce. Now I don't know how many guys Joe Joyce has fought in his career so far. He's fought a lot of guys. He's fought a few guys in his career, but he's never fought anybody who's gonna come up close in his face and is right up in his business. And Joyce comes across as a guy who don't like it up in his business. Joyce comes across as a guy to me that likes things everything at a distance where he can do his work. He don't like it he's up close. He doesn't like it. He likes it where he can dictate the pace, where he can stand off and he can let his bombs go, walk you up against the ropes and throw punches. I don't think I don't think he's up mentally for a fight. When I mean this, I mean a real up close with a man who really knows what he's doing. Like Josie Parker's another one of them guys. He'll get in the kitchen if he needs to get in the kitchen, but he's not a I'm in the kitchen type of guy, and I'll go with you. And Derek's the type of guy he's I'm in the kitchen with you, and I'm gonna stay with you, and I'm gonna turn the temperature up. I might have chuck 100 punches around, but I'm gonna turn the temperature up and keep turning the temperature up, and see who's gonna. It's either you're knocking me out or I'm knocking you out. I'm either getting cooked or you're getting cooked. And Joe Joyce ain't that man. Joyce isn't that guy, and Derek knows that. Derek knows that, and Derek knows if I get close to this, and already Joyce is showing signs already of being defensive. When you start acting defensive and start, you know, behaving the way Joyce is behaving, it's like a guy he's got some troubles there. He is not resolved, and the Zile Sang fight is not resolved, and he's trying to use the Derek Chisora fight to fix things. I don't know. To me, there's some underlying issues with Joe Joyce, which are not being, which are not being. We're not getting the whole truth about Joe Joyce. That's what I'm picking up. And the other thing I'm picking up is if Derek were to stop Joe Joyce, or Joyce looked terrible in this fight, you can't sell him. You can't sell Joe Joyce. If he gets beat by Derek, where does he go? If Derek gets beat by Joe Joyce, it's just another defeat on his record. If Derek beats Joe Joyce, and there's a strong possibility it could happen. I'm not saying it should happen, or it's what the bookies are thinking, or what that Joyce is the favourite, of course. But there's a nice mix there of Joyce lacking confidence and questioning himself, and Derek doesn't give a damn, and he's gonna come and have a fight, and he's not intimidated, and he's gonna come straight at Joyce. Joyce seems to think that Derek didn't want to fight him because he was scared of him. I seem to think that Derek didn't want to fight him because I was hiding to nothing. What am I gaining fighting this guy at this point in my career? He's making a name off of me. Why would I do that? I don't know. I don't know. But all is not well in the Joyce camp. That's from what I see. And yes, he may go on and stop Derek Chisora, but I think we're gonna see. Hope we're gonna see in this fight um, exactly the things I've been talking about in the ring. There's very few times you see something manifest outside the ring where it's manifested outside the ring and it doesn't manifest itself at some point inside the ring. Unless, for some reason, like I said, Derek twists his ankle or shoulder comes out or when these guys are coming to the end of their careers and you always question like when Nigel Benn fought Steve Collins for the second time. He fought him for the first time and he fought him for the second time. Plus I'm gonna go back and look at those fights again. And we knew that it was kind of like the end of Nigel's career. Same thing with Eubank as well. When you get to the end of your career, anything's possible. These guys when they come to the end of their career, anything's possible. So it's a wild card what Derek's gonna do, but it's not a wild card what Joyce is gonna do. That's the thing. It's whether Derek's got it. If somebody said, "Oh, the best Joe Joyce, Derek couldn't beat," well, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure because Joyce is there to be hit. It's just how many times Derek can hit him, or if Derek can hit him in the right spot on the over with the overhand right. That's the thing. It's the one that Joyce doesn't see coming. Derek's got faster feet and he's got faster hands than Joyce, and he works well to the body as well. So I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. Right, those are my thoughts. Let's see what happens tomorrow. This is fascinating, really fascinating. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comment, share. the video and let me know your thoughts and if you've seen any of the things I've been spotting for this fight. People say, "Oh, you're looking too much into it, BWTM Sports." I said the same things about Joseph Parker and Dillian White. I saw how Parker's behaviour was outside the ring, and you all saw how that fight happened. Demeanours and body language is very important, and something's up with Joyce. He still doesn't look right for me. All right, he says he's back to his best. Let's see what that best is. And by the way, one question is, when did Joe Joyce peak? Uh, when did Joe Joyce peak in his career? Let me know. Okay, I'm out. Take care.